Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and sitting right next to me is my brother, Tommy. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
And also joining us is our good brother from Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram. It's Richard. How's it going?
It's going swell, guys. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Okay, so I got I got the Stone Cold. I had one earlier. Oh, after this, I got to watch his A&E biography episode of him.
It looks really good.
I know. It's a 2-hour episode, so I look forward to it. Give me more Stone Cold. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to talk about. I mean, it's probably going to be, for a lot of people who don't know his history.
Now, is A&E part of the NBC umbrella?
I think so.
Okay.
There's a lot of those. Yeah, I think it is because if you look through Peacock, they've got like the Kardashians and the Total Bellas and all that jazz. So,
well, that's under the E umbrella.
Yeah, I think that's all NBC Universal.
Okay. Yeah, Peacock. Yeah.
No, but dude, it's crazy, dude. There's so many biographies and like documentaries going on. So A&E is doing like these, like 8 documentaries from WWE wrestlers and legends, Hall of Famers, and then on WWE Network, or I guess technically Peacock, they have icons. Remember Yokozuna recently. RVD's going to have one, British Bulldog. And then Dark Side of the Ring is coming back in a couple weeks. So I feel like there's so many different wrestling documentaries in existence right now. It's so much to keep track of, but I definitely look forward to watching all of it. But the Stone Cold one, I'm looking forward to watching, just see what new info we can get from that. I mean, I like to think I know a good portion, if not all of his history, but it'd be good for a new audience maybe to kind of learn who he was. Younger people.
Updated stuff too, because like a lot of those, I had a lot of the VHSs way back when, and I know that a lot of those are not on the network or Peacock. That is, nothing's on the network anymore. But I remember, like, I know I had this VHS or DVD, and they didn't have it on the network, and I thought that was really strange. So,
okay. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see what they talk about. And it'd just be updated perspective as well. So maybe Stone Cold's at a better place in his life where he can feel he can open up a little bit more on certain things. And so I look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I also set my DVR for that Treasure thing. Mick Foley, that other episode, the other WWE show on A&E that's coming out. That's also premiering tonight. It's like Lost Treasures.
I don't know what this is.
I think you posted on Instagram a while back. It was first announced a couple months ago, but they find lost treasures from the WWE.
Oh, from the warehouse.
Yeah. So I set the DVR for that as well. So see what Mick Foley can find. Maybe one of his old socks or something.
Or Vince's Corvette. With the cement, yeah.
So
that's still around.
Isn't that an Access? They bring it to Access.
I think it's Access.
I think it's like somewhere near the WWE headquarters. Like the parking lot.
Yeah. So, but here we are back at it for another episode of In The Kliq. So, Richard, how's your WrestleMania hangover? Is it gone now?
It's all gone. Gone.
No, I honestly like the Raw after Mania. I felt was a little lackluster. Nothing major happened, and then after that, I felt like I needed a couple days just to kind of rest and not think wrestling. But it was tough because NXT made its big debut on Tuesday nights by themselves. SmackDown. There was a lot of WWE news that came out this week. So even though I thought I was going to take it a little bit more easier this week and rest, it still was just bam, bam, bam. So much.
Just a big tidal wave.
Yeah, of news and unfortunately some sad news. So I guess let's go ahead and just jump right into that with some of the clickbait news. So earlier this week, it was announced a bunch of WWE releases back on April 15th. That was the official day. 1 year to the day last year when they released a bunch of names. You know the names by now, but it's up to 10 people now, I believe. So Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, Mojo Rawley, Bo Dallas, and Wesley Blake were all released back on April 15th. And I don't know, I didn't say anything about NXT, any NXT releases, because last year they did it on the next day, but I didn't hear anything major there. I know Sean Ross Sapp, he tweeted out that John Laurinaitis was the one who had to make all the calls and told all of them it was budget cuts.
Well, hold on. There's a point there, but I do think how sucky is that the guy just gets hired back?
Yeah,
and they're like, now we need you to fire a bunch of people. Now, here's the thing though. Like it sucks because like 4 of those people are probably 4 of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
So, they don't answer to us anymore. Remember, WWE, they answer to the stock market. So if they say
the
it's
investors
budget,
and stuff,
yeah, they respond to Wall Street. So if their money is not where it's at, like yes, they are making money, but if they are promising that they would make X amount more, maybe with the expectation from WrestleMania that they might be able to get more than 25,000 and they only got X amount in, like you got to look at it from their side as well as to like maybe there is a legitimate reason. Like they have all these people investing all this money into that company. Mm-hmm. And if they don't hit those targets, then they do need to make some cuts because they can't afford, like we watch wrestling for the athletes, but there's like 800, 900, 1,000 people behind the scenes that work in the offices, that run the trucks, that run the merchandise, that run social media pages, that run all these other shows.
All the
WWE.
Different departments, yeah.
Yeah, and they can't cut those people. So those people keep this thing running. These are the people that oil this machine. And if a piece breaks, then you got to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for some of the people on that list, unfortunately, you look at Samoa Joe and it's just like, how could they let Samoa Joe leave? Like that is like renowned to everyone as an all around great performer. However, he's been hurt a bunch of times, and we also don't know of these people if maybe some of them asked for their release beforehand and they just waited to release them to this date.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Yeah. It's, I mean, we could kind of go through some of these and like some of them that was shocked and some I wasn't shocked. So yeah, as you said, from a budget, I think what's tough is one, I think a lot of people were saying this was very tone deaf because like exactly 1 year later on April 15th, once again, you make all these cuts. And it just sucks because we're all on this high, a WrestleMania high, how great of a show it was, first time in front of fans. And then like a few days later, all this sadness of all these people gone. So it just kind of sucks. Like you want 1 minute you're rooting for WWE, like thank you for bringing back a show full of fans and something that feels normal again pre-pandemic. And then a few days later, you kind of do this dick move, and it's kind of tough to be a WWE fan because you're like, man, you guys just made another $1 billion with this Peacock deal, and you still release these people during a pandemic, and there's not like a lot of them can go find jobs maybe right away. Now, granted, they have the 90-day non-compete, and I think they get paid for that extra 90 days. So, for the next 3 months, they should be okay, and hopefully in 3 months' time, maybe things will open up more and they can find work elsewhere. I mean, Bo Dallas, we already know he's been trying to do real estate and has a farm with Liv Morgan already. So he's kind of, I think, setting up for life after wrestling.
Bo Dallas? He dates Liv Morgan?
Yeah, they got a farm to get. Look, if you Google it,
I had no idea.
Yeah, Bo Dallas. I think him and Liv Morgan either. Yeah, they're trying to have a farm together, and then like he gets in the real estate. I think she's trying to do it as well. It was like when it came out, I was like, whoa, what really? I mean, Tom, you heard it. Cornette was talking about it too.
Yeah.
No, it's really interesting. So yeah, Bo Dallas, I think he's trying to plan life after wrestling. So who knows if he's going to go into it now.
Nothing
fully.
wrong having a backup plan.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of people were just upset. It's like, man, it's like you made $1 billion. You made $1 billion off Fox. You had the new TV deal with USA Network. You got Peacock. Like, you know, they've made a couple $1 billion in the last couple of years. You can't keep a handful of your employees under contract still just to get through this pandemic. So,
well, think about this though. There could also be people that we don't know about because they're not WWE people that invest in WWE and say, you guys didn't make your marks. You need to do something about this. Like, how are you going to rectify this for the next quarterly?
Yeah, and then the quarterly report I think comes out next week. The new one that Vince will probably be on a phone call and stuff. No, it sucks either way. Like, I mean, of course I feel bad. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, but I understand. Like for me, I've lived through multiple cuts like this at my own job. I've seen coworkers come and go, and it's very sad. So, and there's times where we scratch our head and be like, you know, you can't keep these people around, but you know, it's a business. And you brought up a good point, Richard. It's a business at the end of the day. It's numbers. And a lot of these people are just names on a piece of paper. They don't have no emotional attachment to them. And that's why it's easy to be like, okay, get rid of these 5 people to help make up for maybe revenue loss or something. So no, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and it sucks. But you know, the biggest surprise, is Samoa Joe. I'm still shocked that
that's called WrestleMania.
He was out there in the poncho, with the rain coming down on him. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe he just could not get cleared because he had the concussion over a year ago.
It could be something along the lines too of he wanted to get back in the ring and Vince wanted to keep him on the microphone. They could have just come to an agreement that, hey, if you really have X amount of years left to be in the ring, go do that and you can come back.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen people leave and come back like that?
And that's the thing I was thinking of. Who was it? I mean, Christian had a bunch of concussions, but he could never get cleared to wrestle in WWE. So I wonder, maybe Samoa Joe, or was it Daniel Bryan? Remember Daniel Bryan? You know, he had to retire and he became SmackDown GM, but apparently he could not get cleared by WWE's doctors, but he went to like independent doctors and
indie doctors.
Yeah. Same with Christian as well, right?
But I'm saying with Daniel Bryan, like, was a couple years ago, he was supposedly getting cleared from these independent doctors. And so he was like teasing the idea of like, okay, as soon as my contract's up, I'm out of here and I want to go wrestle still. And then WWE suddenly cleared him again.
But I mean, you look at the Iconics as well. And I think that might be a perfect example of go out there and show me what you want to do, because we were hearing reports for quite a while before they split those two up that Peyton Royce wanted to try to be a singles. And a lot of the time, you sink or swim. And if you to me, she didn't do that great on her own.
Yeah, I agree.
Which one? About Peyton? Yeah.
So, you break up this hot act to pursue something and say that you believe in yourself to do it. Like, that's why sometimes it's like, maybe sometimes it's best you don't get fired or you don't re-sign a contract and you go figure out something else to do with your character and come back.
Yeah.
The Iconics would have benefited if they went back to NXT and split up.
Okay.
They could have kept them on NXT until Peyton found that. Because to me, like, she just came out with a different look a couple of times. Like, that's it to me.
Peyton Royce? Yeah, because, I mean, like, she cut her hair, like, it was short, like, dark, and then she started lightening it up, and then she got the long hair again. So, I mean, she didn't really change too much. It just, for me, it's frustrating that they're both gone because, like, they were a legit tag team, and now you have this women's tag team division you're trying to build to it, and we're seeing so many of these same matches over and over. Nia, Shayna versus Mandy and Dana, or them versus so-and-so. I mean, it's very repetitive, and it's like, just put them back together, have them, just be another opponent for the tag team division. That's why I just get frustrated. It's like, the women's tag team division is such a mess. At times, it's not very entertaining. I think the two of them could have just had so much fun with it. Billie Kay, obviously, the more the comedic side of things. Peyton's, out of the two, is the better wrestler. But I don't know. I just didn't get it. I mean, I don't know.
That one hurts me the most.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Mickey and Samoa Joe are the biggest losses for WWE, but in terms of people I enjoy the most, the Iconics, that burns.
Well, Samoa Joe, I'm just thinking is either, I'm curious, like, if it's a budget thing, I wonder, they're like, hey, we're paying him a superstar salary.
A wrestler, to be an announcer.
But he's just a commentator. It's like, well, unless he's going to wrestle for us, there's no reason to keep him around. And then sure enough, I wonder if that's partly it. Or you brought up a good point, Richard. Maybe he wanted to wrestle, but they won't clear him. So they're like, all right, well, let me go. And then I'll go wrestle elsewhere and just, I'll live with the consequences of that, if he gets hurt again or something.
But I think Samoa Joe and maybe Tucker, and of course Mickey James, I think they'd be a great fit in the NWA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Samoa Joe, any company would benefit from having him. Of course, AEW, there's so many people over there. If he made a return to Impact and just his roots, TNA roots, I mean, they have the library there. Or New Japan.
As much as I don't like it and I still won't watch it, I think Samoa Joe would be better off going to AEW probably than Impact again.
Well, at least AEW and Impact work together.
Ring of Honor. I remember reading about Samoa Joe before I ever watched Samoa Joe. From
MLW.
Yeah.
Dude, he could go
Samoa Joe and Jacob Fatu, sign me up.
That would be terrific.
Dude, he can go on like a fun indie tour, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? As far as he can bounce from promotion to promotion.
Let him
control his narrative.
Right.
Exactly. I gotta show you. Did you see the video of EC3 and Matt Cardona at a diner? They went 12 minutes ranting about their time in WWE.
EC3 was like Tony Robbins he's like the Tony Robbins now of professional wrestling.
But I will say this, Ring of Honor, to their credit, I think they've been doing a lot of good things in the last few months. Their Ring of Honor is on the up, so don't sleep on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
It's just a matter. Never sleep on Ring of Honor. It's just, for them, their only holdback is the people that own them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, but listen, AEW has a stacked roster now, so I think anyone that's trying to find work elsewhere, I think Ring of Honor could be a great spot.
And also don't sleep on MLW as well.
Yeah, it's like for example, Kalisto, we haven't seen much of him in recent months.
I had to think about that. Who's Kalisto?
He was the bad one in Lucha House Party, and they kicked him out, and they kept him on SmackDown and drafted the other two guys to Raw.
Oh yeah.
So I think for Kalisto, last we saw was those backstage promos where he just told Sasha Banks she looked hot. Remember?
No.
That's
I don't even remember that.
He literally was in street clothes with his mask on with a hat on, and he just told Sasha Banks she looked hot. That's all it was. So they weren't using him. So Kalisto, I think Ring of Honor has a really good thing going with the Mexi Squad and with Roosh and some of the other guys.
Dragon Lee.
Yeah, the guys from CMLL.
Yeah, but they have real Mexican luchadors. Like Kalisto's isn't he from Miami?
I think he's Chicago.
Sure. No, that's the other guy.
Grand Metalik? No,
the other one.
Lindsay Dorado.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Lindsay Dorado.
Well, I mean, if he wants to prove he can hang with those guys, he should go to Ring of Honor. I mean, I think Andrade, since he got let go last month, I think Andrade should go to Ring of Honor since that's all his buddies from CMLL.
Yeah, he'd be a perfect fit.
So, it's Mickey James. I mean, she's probably
anywhere she wants.
Anywhere she wants. She is such one of the most talented female performers. I mean, she'll probably go with her husband to NWA.
I was just gonna say, I think that would be a cool choice to see them as a pair, but also
put her on commentary.
Yeah, but also the way that they book women's wrestling is probably my favorite outside of WWE.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Chelsea Green, I just feel bad for Chelsea Green because it was always stop and go with her time in WWE.
But you could also say that's injury prone.
Yeah,
that too.
So I
was very much looking forward to seeing Chelsea Green in a WWE ring, but God damn, it just felt like every time she was on TV, she broke her wrist.
Yeah, and that sucked because that happened with NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And then
one of her first matches.
Yeah, and then she got hurt there, and then came back, and then had the thing with the Robert Stone brand for a quick minute.
Yeah,
and then she got called up, and then when she wasn't used on TV at all, and then when she finally debuted that Survivor Series qualifying match, she got hurt. So I just felt bad. It's just been bad luck. So I hope she can, go out. She is talented. I mean, didn't she come from Lance Storm's wrestling school? So. I do want to see big things from her.
Yeah,
Tucker, I don't know.
I think Tucker will go to. I think he'd be fine in the NWA.
Yeah, he has kind of like old school look,
and plus he has an amateur wrestling background, so he'd be like hopefully maybe like a Jack Briscoe type,
or I mean Impact. I think he's someone that can like do some damage in Impact.
Yeah, that too.
Because Impact kind of takes...
Impact sucks.
Yeah. But they take some of these like lower tier guys and gals and
they put them in comedy gimmicks with Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
So, Mojo Rawley, I was not shocked by. Like, he always was kind of annoying to me because he always was just that over the top like frat boy.
Did you see him in NXT when he was there the first time?
No, the Hype Bros. No, I didn't see that.
It was so obnoxious.
And that's the thing. It's like I never was a fan of his. I didn't care when he wrestled. I sure he has a lot of great charisma and energy, but it just never really translated for me. I did not care for Mojo at all. I mean, everyone's like, oh, he's very charismatic. He'll probably do really well outside. Okay, good. Go. Prove it to me. Show it to me.
I thought he was a little sloppy in the ring.
Yeah, he's just nothing impressive with me with him. Yeah. Bo Dallas, as we said, he probably could get into real estate. And so Wesley Blake, that's another. It's just so funny. The Forgotten Sons, like literally Wesley Blake, the other guy, we talked about earlier this year, but Riker is the one that's still employed, and that's the one who got the most heat backstage for his political views.
But he's also the most seasoned wrestler there,
right?
Yeah, so he's been around since 2002 at NWA TNA. Like he is way back.
Which one was dating Deanna Purrazzo?
The first one that got let go earlier this year,
right? Forgot his name.
Look it up, but no. But Wesley Blake, I mean, him and the other guy, they were trying to be King Corbin's like sidekicks, and that didn't.
His knights.
Yeah. No, I just.
By the way, King Corbin is the longest King of the Ring we've ever had.
He's forever going to be king.
They're never going to have another King of the Ring tournament.
he retired the whole tournament. No, but it's interesting. And Richard, let me ask you this, because there was a lot of people.
Oh, it's Steve Cutler.
Steve Cutler, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of people who are still there that people are like, wow, I can't believe they still have jobs, like Aleister Black, Ricochet, Buddy Murphy. Like there's people that quote sit at catering but don't do anything. So I'm really surprised some of them didn't get let go, but maybe they have plans for them. I know Aleister Black, Mike Johnson reported that they recorded some new vignettes with Aleister Black, so hopefully he gets like a re-debut again on SmackDown. That's something to look forward to. But it just sounds like I said, Samoa Joe is just the biggest shocker to me, because like he should have been WWE champion at some point, especially when he had that feud with AJ Styles a few years ago.
Well, even more so that he's been an active WWE announcer, like, and a good one.
Yeah, he's one of the best. I just don't. I'm shocked, and even if like as we said earlier, maybe he's getting paid a lot of money as a superstar salary, but that's like way too much compared to commentators' money. Like, couldn't they have used him for other things? Like, why let him go to the competition? Keep him around, be like a coach, maybe for the NXT crew.
Like I said, we don't know. Maybe some of these guys asked for it. We don't know yet because they can't talk until 3 months from now.
I cannot wait for Samoa Joe's shoot interview, just him explaining everything. So it sucks seeing people go. I mean, it's like I said, some of them were surprised, some were not so much surprised. Bye Mojo. I cannot care for Mojo Rawley. Get hyped, bro. It's like, get out of here.
All right, Danny's burying someone. Mojo Rawley. There you go.
Get him, Danny. Get him.
You tell him.
Stupid face paint on his face, broken mirror.
And you're butt buddies with Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, it's like he
Fuck the Patriots, man.
So no, but Samoa Joe, I'm excited to see what's next for him. I think it'll be some good stuff. So, all right, next up, let's talk about, of course, this week's episode of NXT. The first one on Tuesday night, officially by itself, no other competition. The Wednesday Night Wars are gone now. They're dead. Thank God.
It's overrated.
Yeah, just everyone talking about that.
What? What war?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
My thoughts exactly.
The kids that have heard about the Monday Night Wars and never really lived through it when everyone watched both shows and liked both shows?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
So, dude, this is the first episode of NXT, like I said, on Tuesday night, post-takeover, so the Fallout episode. But, Richard, yeah, what'd you think of this episode? I have some thoughts about the whole vibe, but, yeah, what'd you think of its first episode, unopposed with no competition?
It felt good. It felt... it's funny because it felt more competitive than it had felt to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a much funner NXT than it had been.
Yeah, that's something Tom and I noticed. We just felt the vibe was more fun, upbeat.
A lot more relaxed.
And they were able to kind of be themselves again. And
exactly.
Just who these characters are.
No pressure.
Yeah, they're not trying to just counter program. I mean, and this is only one episode, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, in the past, they were always doing like these big shows, always coincidence the same night as AEW had a big show lined up. So it was like they were almost like playing to the competition and just not doing their own thing. And so this episode felt like back to basics of who they are and what they're all about. And that's the one thing I was really enjoying. And then, there were some great segments that really just showed how talented this whole roster is and a lot of good stuff to look forward to. And, I'll give kudos when it's due. This opening segment with Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux and them come out, do their thing. He comes out with the championship. He is now, the new NXT champion. So not only is this new era of NXT on Tuesday night, it's now the start of Karrion Kross as the face of NXT. It's really interesting, the timing of them debuting on Tuesday. It's also Karrion Kross re-debuting as NXT champion. So it's really going to be interesting to watch how this evolve. NXT by itself on Tuesday, but Karrion Kross as the face of the company now. This promo, I really enjoyed this promo. I really think it's one of his best to date in NXT.
And I'll say this, because I've watched enough Kross. That was a lackluster promo compared to what he can do.
I can only imagine, because I've seen some videos online and stuff where
I've seen something on Impact in his journey.
There's a specific one I'm thinking about from Impact that you should all stop what you're doing right now, pause this podcast, and find the one where he waterboarded the Sandman. Because it is dark. It is a very dark promo.
So that's the thing, is like, okay, because you got to look at Karrion Kross' time in NXT like in two parts. The first part pre-injury and now post-injury, if you want to call it that, or post-recovery. So, his first time around, I felt like he wasn't talking too much. It was more
visual.
Yeah, and I want to see more of him on the microphone, and we got to see it on this promo, and I thought it was great. I mean, I'll take your word for it that he could do a lot better, which is fine. I can't wait for it.
Bring it.
But this promo, I really enjoy it. Like, he's like, hey, he gave kudos and props to Finn Balor as one of the greats. Awesome. Pay respect to the guy you just beat.
Put him over.
But then he called out the rest of the locker room and said, like, hey, open challenge, more or less, whoever wants this title, come after it, but he's going to be champion for a long time. And
I want to see that.
Yeah, he put the whole roster on notice. I thought it was a great promo, just overselling himself as NXT champion.
Yeah.
Damn right.
There you go.
So, we unfortunately we didn't get no teases of or suspicion or or who's going to be his next challenger.
But I felt maybe in the coming weeks or so, I would like to see him have like these open challenges. I want to see him call out someone and have any challenger come out his way and just have a good match with him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And somehow put the guy over, even though he'll be at the losing end,
But no, I'm all for that. I want Karrion Kross to cut more promos like that in the ring, or Richard, as you said, more of previous work he's done in other promotions. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of him on the microphone, because I think he could do a really good job selling himself, who he is, and just how intimidating he can be. So I liked this. I believed what he was saying as far as, hey, I'm the top of the mountain now. You guys got to come after me. It's, but be ready for a fight.
What's interesting is that we've been doing this podcast for a year now or so.
Almost,
and that's the first time I think I've heard you say that you believed in someone's promo.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It was just like, it felt real. And I don't know if it's because
it felt genuine.
I think there's part of that is the emotion of that we know that he just got injured right after, like he hurt himself, continued to match, and believably still won it, only to give it up 3 days later or whatever it was.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, technically he's a 2-time NXT champion, but he almost put like an asterisk around it because he had to drop the belt the first time right after. So we never got to see what his potential is as NXT champion. So I'm excited to see what's next for him now as NXT champion. Now he's healthy, what he can bring to the table. And this promo got me excited for that.
In a way, when he was injured, he was basically the champion or the NXT champion of Emeritus. Is that the term I'm looking for? It's anyway, but it's meaning like you have to relinquish the title, but no matter what, when you're healthy or when you want to come back, you're the automatic number one contender to get the title.
Yeah, but Shawn Michaels went through that. Yeah. I mean, that's what led to the Razor-Shawn ladder match. So, I mean, he's still a 2-time NXT champion. He won it against a very credible Keith Lee at the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's true though. Like you see this guy and you see what he does to people, and it's kind of like, this is why you don't want Brock Lesnar on TV all the time, because Brock does that to everybody.
It's special,
It's special when you hold him back. So like that Universal Championship means something now because Brock Lesnar held it and didn't defend it every week.
Well, I guess for me also, like for for Karrion Kross, I think the first time around, when he made his original debut for NXT, was they were trying to, I don't know, make him like a Goldberg. Like he was just squashing guys and that's it. We didn't get to see much of his personality. This, when I thought it was believable, because I got to see who he is, more of a personality. And so, going back, was it last month or a little bit longer, with the match with Santos Escobar, we got to see him more of a badass, just street fight, kick-ass person. So like in the last couple months, I think we've seen more from him that makes him more of a credible world champion for NXT. That's ultimately what I'm getting at. I've just, the way he's been presented as of late has been more entertaining, and therefore gives me more of a reason to root for him now as NXT champion. So, no, I look forward to it. And so, I look forward to see who his next challenger will be and the next program that they come up with. But speaking of former NXT champions, they had this like cool little takeover exclusive video, the aftermath of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly's match at NXT Takeover.
Their unsanctioned match.
Yeah, the unsanctioned match. And so it was like, what happened when the cameras went off the air? And so you see the stretcher, they stretch out Adam Cole, then Kyle O'Reilly's in the back and he falls down and he's like exhausted. And they put them both on these stretchers, both in respected ambulance. Triple H is like looking out for them, Shawn Michaels. It's just cool. Like these two guys are like helping out. It's like helping their kids.
And William Regal following them as well as they're entering the medical facility.
And that's the thing. So they put them in these each in a separate ambulance.
Damn, pal, you gotta take them to a medical facility.
Well, they looks like they drive. It looks like they probably just went around the block, because then they pull up the medical facility or their hospital. It just looked like probably the other end of the performance center.
Exactly.
And they both arrive at the same time.
At least they went that far.
Yeah. The detail.
I believe something happened on your Wednesday night show a few weeks ago with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, he disappeared.
Disappeared for a couple yards.
No, they put Shaq in an ambulance and they cut back and the ambulance is already empty. So I don't know if he jumped out.
Well, there's video online of the fans filming him get out and like hide his head and run to the back.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
The ambulance didn't even leave the crowd area.
Because that was the joke, was like, wait, how did Shaq leave the ambulance? Like, was it magic? Like, he Shazam again? But it's like, yeah, they could have sold it better. They should have just drove him off. But anyway, that's all another issue. But
it's another story.
But I like how they both arrive at the same time, and they're both going down the hall. Adam Cole's yelling at Kyle O'Reilly, like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to kill you. Ah.
Calling him a son of a bitch.
And Kyle O'Reilly's just laying there looking just like straight ahead. And then Tommy, as you said, William Regal's just following.
Yeah.
But Tommy and I were like, this is totally Rocky 2.
Yeah.
Because remember the beginning of Rocky 2?
Yeah, they both rush him to the hospital.
Yeah. Because Rocky 2 picks up after Rocky 1 ended.
After the fight.
And they both go to the hospital, and they're both like going down, the wheelchairs together or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so it's just very similar, like these two guys who just like almost killed each other in the ring or at the hospital at the same time.
Exactly.
And so I don't know.
Do you think they're going to come back with swollen faces?
I would like that.
But no, the thing is, like how many times I like how NXT seems to be borrowing elements from the Rocky movies,
or maybe that's my impression. I don't know if anyone else will notice.
On. Like,
because remember, Karrion Kross and Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee, that was Rocky 4 when the Russian beat Apollo in front
Ivan Drago
in front of Stallone.
Yeah,
and then Rocky 3
was the rematch between Rocky and Clubber Lang, Mr. T.
But we saw with Finn Balor,
against Karrion Kross,
like. Finn Balor was like,
making him mad,
frustrating mad, and like punch and go and stuff.
Yeah, stick and move.
Tommy
Who's
Gunn.
going to be a Tommy Gunn? Is that going to be Roderick Strong?
That could possibly be.
He's going to come back on steroids and just be this big jacked up.
And he's going to call him out, and he wants a street fight.
No, actually. Roderick Strong, he's more like Rocky's son. Because remember, was Rocky's son... Right, but wasn't Rocky's son jealous of Tommy Gunn because he got more attention from Rocky than, Rocky was giving to his own son.
Right.
So Roderick Strong is pissed off. He's not getting any more attention anymore.
That's the thing, yeah.
Or maybe Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish is going to come back as Tommy Gunn.
No, Bobby Fish is Paulie.
Really, what's next for Bobby Fish? Like, at this point?
I don't know.
You put it on Instagram. I saw you post that on Instagram.
I'm almost wondering like how he dodged the releases this week.
Well, Tommy put up a funny meme. It's like he comes back and like the house is on fire.
It's Donald Glover. It's a Donald Glover gif.
But it's just kind of funny. Bobby Fish is like, man, I've been gone resting from my injury, and look what happened.
What the hell happened?
I lost my whole team here. So, anyway, I thought it was great. I'm guessing both those guys are going to be off TV for a while. But like on a quick side note, on Raw or SmackDown, no NXT call up, so no Adam Cole appearance. So
no,
I don't know if maybe they're just trying to sell Adam Cole's injuries. He's going to take a few weeks off before coming back on, Raw or SmackDown called up, TV.
Yeah, that could possibly be.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But also moving on over, we saw Santos Escobar, celebrating his victory from last week at TakeOver, and then he has an open challenge. And sure enough, Kushida answered the call and comes out for a really fun match between the two of them. What'd you think of this NXT Cruiserweight Championship match?
I thought this was Kushida's best NXT match, personally. I thought that this was the most entertaining one. I think Santos is just hit another level. He is so good right now.
Yeah. And
it's the new tights for Kushida.
Yeah, Kushida is in his new gear. I like no more jeans.
I liked it.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, that might be a contributing factor. He probably had some more mobility in the ring.
Yeah, his balls were able to breathe now instead of wearing the jeans.
Yeah, they look like this. He was a catch wrestler. He had an amateur wrestler background, and he was an MMA fighter. His name was Sakuraba.
Is that who the trunks look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I got the vibe from.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
He had a flat top?
No, he had long, thick black hair.
Okay.
No, so I mean, like I said, a great match here.
Kazuchi Sakuraba is his name.
But, Kushida pulled off the big victory, the surprise, shocking victory, and he's now the Cruiserweight champion. So kudos to him. But it was cool. Was it William Regal later on acknowledged that he's a 6-time IWGP light heavyweight champion.
Junior heavyweight
champion. So that was kind of cool. They acknowledged, his time in New Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a cruiserweight champion. Good for him. Finally. I felt like I was worried that they were never going to make him a champion. Like, he was with NXT for so long, but it was like he's just never going to win a title of any sort. And so I'm very happy he won the title here. But with Santos, though, I'm actually very happy because I think Santos is ready to move on for bigger and better things.
Move up. Yeah.
Yeah. North American title scene, maybe eventually.
A rematch with Cross.
I was just going to say, what if he's the next guy to go after Cross? He doesn't have to win it, but he could be next in line.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it, too.
And that, because I think to add more credibility to Legado del Fantasma as a faction, he needs a better belt, like the NXT North American Championship, and maybe those guys can become tag champions at some point. I think it'd be really cool for the faction as a whole.
Yeah.
So I was super happy with this match, how it played out. But also we saw Raquel Gonzalez come out and celebrate her win as the new NXT Women's Champion. Gave a big shout out to her partner Dakota Kai. Do you think Raquel was turning babyface here with her promo?
It felt that way. It also felt like if you were watching Dakota Kai's body language, she was kind of giving her the stink eye at parts.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little interesting that the Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair come out, and where's Dakota?
Yeah. So this was an interesting segment. I almost kind of thought this could have maybe ended the show for multiple reasons, but it was kind of more in the middle. Raquel cuts this great promo, just how happy she is, and thanks Dakota for believing in her. But then we see Taya Valkyrie, or I guess now Frankie Monet,
with her little pooch,
make her official debut. Comes out, interrupts her. I like this back and forth between them. It was a mixture of English and Spanish.
Yeah.
Because, Taya...
it's funny, though, because Raquel's been doing that Spanish thing, like throwing on little Spanish bits here and there for the last couple of weeks. And It's like Taya's most known for her work in Mexico, which is great to me.
Yeah. Raquel kept calling, Chiquita, and then Taya... I got to get you saying
Frankie Monet.
Was...
Frankie Monet?
Frankie Monet? saying stuff back to her in Spanish, and then was it Raquel's like, I'll take your dog and stick it up your culo?
Yeah, that's Spanish for ass.
Ew.
I know a little Spanish.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this back and forth. So hey, Frankie Monet making her debut, calling out the champion already. Great way. Yeah. And then she walked off. And you think it was done, but then all of a sudden you hear, "This is my brutality," and then Rhea Ripley comes down, and they stare at each other because that was Rhea Ripley's last match in NXT was against Raquel. So instead they hug it out. So and then Bianca Belair comes out, and all three of them have their titles and pose. I thought it was a very felt good moment. I don't know. How about you? What do you think of?
It's cool. It's that's a rare moment that you get in wrestling that feels genuine. I think everyone from our age, kind of, our default is still probably Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit at the end of WrestleMania 20. Those people that have traveled the road together for a long time, and they kind of get that moment. Especially this week was kind of special, seeing that photo from a year or two ago. And
I think it was 2019, that photo of the three of them. And so who would have thought? Less than 2 years later, they're all champions of their respected brands now. So
it was a really nice touch.
Because look, we're probably never going to get. The only way we get something close to that is if, Becky and Charlotte have world titles and Bayley and Sasha have tag team titles, or vice versa. That's the only other thing comparable for women's wrestling is those three or four.
It was cool, just symbolism as far as like, hey, NXT is making the future stars of this company, or those stars are the stars now. So the future is now. So, I guess that was cool. Obviously, I know some people from a kayfabe standpoint kind of hated it because it's like, well, Raquel and Rhea just beat the crap out of each other a few months ago. Shouldn't they still hate each other? And Bianca Belair, kayfabe wise, none of them are all friends. So shouldn't they all be kind of like enemies of each other from a competitive standpoint? But at the end of the day, it's kind of nice to break kayfabe and just be just celebrate in the moment, this special moment, what happened during WrestleMania week that all three of them won. So I thought it was cool. It still made for great moments, some great photos and stuff for social media and stuff. So all good stuff. Just two more things real quick for NXT. So we see this video package, Imperium, Walter's voicing it, and he's more or less just said he wants to expand and add new members to Imperium.
Imperium is recruiting.
So I'm actually kind of intrigued by this. I'm actually kind of excited. Part of me, I'm like, no, I just want to keep it a 4-man group. Good factions are just 4 people. That's all you need. A main
That's
event.
WWE training you.
I know it's what's the condition? No, but because traditionally it's 4-man group. You have your main eventer, you got your mid carder, and you got your tag team. And it's been kind of the formula for years.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's interesting that Walter says he's ready to expand. Is that something, Richard, you're excited for to see Imperium, crossing borders? And I think
only if they make the right decisions. To me,
you don't want to be NWO 2000 have too many members.
Well, unless Imperium becomes the NWO
full life.
I think it's fine if you're getting guys that are up to their in-ring standards, because that's they always tout is the respect that they have for the ring. So, if they're going to get Leon Ruff, that doesn't feel like it fits,
Yeah. The mat is sacred. That's their whole mentality.
Joking aside, the only person I can think of that has any bit of character that's kind of like a goofier person that would still fit with that group is Matt Riddle, because Matt Riddle brings it. But if you look at someone like Sheamus or Drew Gulak or Killian Dane, that they were the one teasing it with it, those guys fit to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I wonder if the reason they're expanding it is that way it has a presence on both on NXT UK and NXT Prime, because Walter.
Because you won't get Walter that often, but when you get Walter, it's going to be like, oh no!
Like the big boss is checking in on us. So,
hold on, one moment. Since I just put that out into the universe, Sheamus versus Walter. You want to see that?
Oh, absolutely! They'll beat the ass out of each other. It's no, because we know Walter's going to go back to NXT UK and be there on a regular basis, and. I wonder, since those other 3 guys looks like they're more set up in NXT Prime now. So I wonder if Walter just needs reinforcements for NXT UK, and then therefore they can hire. So he'll get more people for NXT UK, and then maybe the guys at NXT Prime will add one more person just to round them out to a 4-man group. So I can see, you said Killian Dane, they seem to kind of going after. Wolf keeps pursuing him even after his tag match, Killian Dane and Drake Maverick losing to MSK. I still think Timothy Thatcher is going to be the one to join them, and he'll turn on Ciampa.
Yeah.
So Thatcher will be the one.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah. So that, and because we even saw the two of them sitting together, cut that promo together. But I think Thatcher is going to be the one to kind of fill Walter's shoes for NXT Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know who they would get over at NXT UK. Maybe to keep Walter, because right now he's by himself. He's NXT UK champion, but he's by himself overseas. So I
got to watch that match he had with Rampage Brown.
He needs some reinforcements. So I mean. I don't know who can fill those shoes, but it'll be interesting who he recruits more for the NXT UK brand. So it'll be
Saxon
fun.
Huxley.
He gets a haircut. He gets a haircut and shave, and it fits in.
Yeah, there you go.
So last but not least,
put it into a ponytail.
Yeah,
wrap a man bun
like Roman Reigns.
The main event, we saw The Way taking on Shotzi, Ember Moon, Dexter Lumis, and Bronson Reed. Yeah. I thought it was a very fun match.
It was entertaining.
Intergender 8-person tag match. It was a lot of fun.
It was like a house show match.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everyone had their spots. Candice LeRae looked awesome with the flying
always
DDT on the outside to who she hit it? Was it Bronson she hit it on? I'm spacing now. But
she couldn't do
anything
to Bronson.
Exactly.
She tried to like do a crossbody and just like bounced off of him.
Yeah.
But the main thing was like going into this match, Indy Hartwell was super excited for it.
Yeah.
Because, had a chance to be in the ring with Dexter Lumis.
Her tossing out Austin Theory killed me. That was so great.
Yeah.
And then she went right back to the edge of the ring and just got closer and closer and laid there. And that thumbs up was like, that was the best thing. I need that on a t-shirt. I need that on a t-shirt, and I need that t-shirt.
Well, it's just funny because, she keeps pursuing Dexter Lumis, and Dexter Lumis has, Johnny in his submission hold in the middle of the ring, and she comes in and doesn't want to kick Dexter to break the hold on Johnny. So instead, she just lays there and plays dead, and then, thinking Dexter's going to come over and give her mouth to mouth, and then Johnny interrupted. But Candice LeRae kept C-blocking her all throughout this match as well, and that was fun.
She was being like the nurtured mother.
Yeah. And then, she finally was able to do it again. Then Dexter, picked her up and walked out, and she gave the thumbs up to the camera. So her plan finally worked. So
it paid off.
It's, I wonder, no, actually, I think she already tweeted that she got away from him, or she broke away or something. Like she hung out with him and then broke off. So I'm curious what the fallout is.
No, but no matter what, Dexter Lumis is all indie wrestling right now.
Exactly. So,
God damn it.
So, but it was a very fun main event. I mean, ultimately, after Dexter and Indy walked out early, it was a 3-on-3, and then Bronson Reed just looked dominant here. And,
he's super over right now.
I really want Bronson, between Bronson Reed's performance at TakeOver against Johnny, this match here, Bronson Reed, I really want him to be in the title scene very soon as well. So it looks like they're being very delicate with Bronson Reed's character and his presentation.
Plus, I like the way Wade Barrett says, Tsunami!
I did too.
Yeah. It's great. So no,
that's his best call so far.
Anyway, I just say it was a very fun episode of NXT, and I'm looking forward to Tuesday nights. It's just, for me, it's easier to consume on a Tuesday, live tweet, watch along, all that stuff. So I'm all a fan of it. And so, all right, let's move over to Friday Night SmackDown. Big news earlier today was announced Pat McAfee, arguably the best celebrity in-ring performer of all time, was now officially hired to be the new analyst, color commentator for Friday Night SmackDown. Richard, your thoughts on this hire?
Clearly a great hire, because Pat McAfee is money, and I'm just hoping that he lasts, because I feel like Pat McAfee could say a thing or two that will rub people the wrong way.
Exactly. Good point. Because we saw at one point he said wrestling. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then I guess saying the word wrestling, pro wrestling, is a no-no in WWE.
It's a bit of a taboo word.
Yeah, sports entertainment. But yeah, it sounds like he's kind of, he's very open and honest with his opinions and says what he wants. But my thing also is, like, keep in mind, he had a successful run in the NFL. He's probably got some good money saved. He's got the radio show. He's got other projects. I think, doesn't he do stuff with ESPN, or was doing ESPN, like college games, calling that? But I'm just saying he has money elsewhere. So I wouldn't be surprised, like, maybe he does this for like a year or two, and he's like, I'll move on to something else. So this is fun for him in the meantime.
Man, Adam Cole is just having not a good week. I bet he's screaming from his hospital bed right now as we speak.
He's like, he got promoted to SmackDown first before Adam Cole.
Exactly. I mean, but the question is, will Pat McAfee still call Adam Cole a scumbag?
Yes.
Dude, Adam Cole should be called up to SmackDown, and this is a whole new story right here.
Yeah.
That could be something.
I'll take it.
No, but like, listening to Pat McAfee, I thought he was great, kind of more like the heelish persona, and it was interesting.
He's a better heel persona than Corey is.
Well,
Corey feels like he's playing that role, where Pat feels like he is that guy.
Yeah,
he's that douchebag jock.
Well, here's my also thought. I thought, like, big picture, I mean, Pat McAfee, it's great for WWE because he'll talk about his time with WWE on his radio show, and now get some extra exposure, his social media presence. But, he has the NFL background, so I wonder maybe he can cross over and do some Fox Sports stuff.
Yeah.
So it'd be good synergy between him, WWE, Fox Sports, or FS1.
I thought he was doing work for CBS.
Or maybe so. But, yeah. So, anyway, he has that crossover ability that I'm sure WWE is looking for, branching out and trying to get more eyeballs on their own product. So, but I it was like a fresh set of eyeballs watching the show through him and his commentary. Like, he didn't know all the moves, but he sounded very enthusiastic and was excited when big things happened in the match. Like, he sold.
What a maneuver!
Yeah, he sold Otis.
I totally agree. And here's another thing that people don't give enough credit to. Michael Cole is a very good announcer now.
Yeah,
I give Michael Cole credit for like having to plug as much crap as he has to plug, but him calling wrestling matches. I know it's an unpopular opinion because people haven't liked Michael Cole for a long time, but including myself. But I feel like Michael Cole's kind of turned a corner, probably since AJ got there. Like that's kind of where I noticed that Michael Cole genuinely sounded excited. Like he knew who AJ Styles was, and it's just like, okay, maybe when Michael's got people he actually cares to watch, he gets a little more invested in the product.
Okay,
yeah, I
gotcha.
agree.
Yeah, no, with Pat McAfee though, I was gonna say like it's just his enthusiasm, and then with that enthusiasm, he can bring that out of Michael Cole as well. So it could be a fun tangible between the two of them, but but it's just like he didn't know all the moves, but he still had that general positive reaction and reacting to it. And like I said, it was almost like listening to someone who's like enjoying wrestling for the first time and is like expressing all the cool things they're noticing. So I thought that was kind of cool with Pat McAfee. It's just what he brought to the table. It was just a fresh voice. So I thought that was great. So I'm looking forward to see what more he can do. And obviously he'll probably be more a heelish commentator and rooting for those guys. But but the big thing in SmackDown, the theme was it was the Cesaro show, I felt, between what he wants with Roman and Tommy, all the video packages, replays of the UFO.
I just couldn't believe how many times they had to play it. The clip.
Tommy earlier was so frustrated. He's like, how many times we got to see this UFO replay of WrestleMania of Seth Rollins on the shoulders?
It's like sports highlights. They keep having to show over and over again,
Keep in mind though that this is a week where they know that they have a bigger audience, and for people that might not have watched WrestleMania and they see that, it's just kind of like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like also, we already saw it, and it was just like, whoa, like what, how?
Well, and now it's used as a story beat as far as to remind people, hey, Cesaro is a badass performer, but also it was to get under Seth Rollins' skin, I think, as we saw later in the night. So all throughout the show, they're praising Cesaro and his performance at WrestleMania, showing the highlight video, embarrassing Seth Rollins, and that fueled his anger, which we saw later in the night play out. But I like the promo, though. Roman comes out, takes his time walking out there, and just reminded everyone, hey, I told you I was going to pin both guys, Edge and Daniel Bryan, stacked on each other with the pyro, all that stuff.
Acknowledge me.
And he gave the mic to Paul Heyman and told Heyman to remind everyone who he is and his accomplishment. I loved all that.
I don't remember who I am.
Yeah.
You tell him, Paul.
It was so cool. And that's such a power move. He's like, here, you tell him who I am. It was, I love it. And then he's like, hey, I beat these two guys, these two Hall of Famers, and a reminder to the locker room, none of you guys can beat me. Who's going to challenge me? And then sure enough, Cesaro came out, and we kind of predicted.
Where was Edge and Daniel Bryan on this show?
They were still stacked on each other.
Yeah. They like that feeling.
They're like what's it called? Twins.
Centipedes?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Siamese twins.
I didn't know where you were going.
Siamese twins.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say.
Great Smashing Pumpkins album. NWA shout out. Right
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's Siamese Dream.
Oh, Siamese Dream. Anyway,
that was the name of the
that's
album.
what it was. But no, Cesaro, I thought it was cool. Like, hey, Cesaro answered a challenge, and that's who we all predicted last week. He had the big win at WrestleMania. But it was such a great power move. Roman and them all walked out of the ring before Cesaro got in. They're like, who are you? We don't care about you. Peace. We're out of here. So I just wish Cesaro would have said something, but he didn't. And instead, he went backstage, challenged Roman to a match, but instead he got to take on Jey Uso. So what'd you think of Paul Heyman kind of saying, yeah, you can take on Jey Uso, but he really put him down like of his looks and just calling him out on, like, Paul Heyman really, put down Cesaro, that he's like not that credible of an opponent.
That's Paul Heyman. He's
It's
good
just-
at. Paul Heyman knows that the internet loves Cesaro.
Yeah. And he's a former he's a former Paul Heyman guy. I wonder if they'll acknowledge that at some point.
He's a former Zeb Coulter guy.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, oh no, that's right. Paul
Dutch Mantel.
Dutch Mantel.
Yeah, Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
The Paul
Curtis
Heyman
Axel
guy.
and Ryback were with
That's right.
Paul.
That's what I'm sorry.
They
I got
were.
it.
That's
Yeah.
Ryback kissed Paul Heyman on the cheek. Let's never forget that.
Ooh.
So, what'd you think of the main event though? Cesaro versus Jey Uso. I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought the finish sucked, but
I think Jey Uso is. I love the finish. I'll just put that out there quick.
Really?
Yeah. Jey Uso, he's a different kind of talent all of a sudden. But at the same time, these are two guys that have probably faced each other dozens and dozens and dozens of times with the Bar and the Usos.
yeah, house shows and stuff. Yeah.
The reason I love the finish is, one, I did not see Seth Rollins coming from anywhere. I was not expecting it. I was confident that was over with. But it also makes you question, are we getting Seth with Roman again and joining with maybe both of the Usos? So you've got a heavyweight guy, a guy that can take that mid-card title, and then you have a tag team.
Good
You have a
WWE
faction that has
four people.
You have a faction that potentially could have all the belts on the show. And imagine that. Picture that. You know, it's like it's WWE's Four Horsemen, and you've got Paul Heyman as JJ Dillon.
You heard it here first with Richard.
Yeah.
We'll remember this. No, I guess it's okay for me. Great idea. It's just for me what I was frustrated. It was like, okay, Cesaro's being built up as the next opponent for Roman. Give him a win on SmackDown.
But he has to get speed bumps on the way. That way, by the time Cesaro wins the belt, it means that much more because he had to struggle and claw and fight his way to the top. So because he's no matter what, he gets past Seth Rollins, he gets a match with Roman, he still has to contend with Jey Uso around the ring, and then he has to fight around Jey Uso the way Jey Uso was at WrestleMania and still be able to pull up a win against Roman, and then the shock and awe of, oh my God, he did it.
It's going to be interesting, though. Okay, so Seth Rollins interfered and the match ended up being, a no DQ or whatever with no contest.
Cesaro won.
DQ for Cesaro to win. So, Seth Rollins was screaming, "This is not over till I say it's over." So it's a mixture. Obviously, mad that he lost to WrestleMania. The constant highlight replays all throughout the night.
And overall, Seth Rollins could use a Snickers.
Yes, he's very angry. So I'm curious if it's going to be Seth versus Cesaro at the next pay-per-view, the Backlash pay-per-view, or maybe he has to go through Seth one more time to get to Roman. There's a lot of people in this fold now. Like, they already got rid of two opponents with Daniel Bryan and Edge. Now you bring in Cesaro. Seth Rollins is lurking around. Jay is in the mix.
There could be a red herring if you listen to the Roman Reigns portion of that opening segment, because he said that he didn't believe that he should be put in triple threat matches anymore because he dominated the way he did.
Exactly.
Maybe that means we're going to get Cesaro against Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns.
Okay. The three of them. So
because what better way to say that Cesaro is a main event guy than to beat two main eventers to become a world champion?
Two former members of the Shield too.
Yep.
Even though they'll never acknowledge that again.
Who did Chris Benoit beat to become world champion at WrestleMania 20?
It was
Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yep. And they were a part of what group?
DX.
Yeah.
I can say Evolution.
Yeah.
They're part of the Kliq. Let's be real. That's the real faction who ran things. I'm for this as far as building up Cesaro as the next maybe top baby phase. I mean, that's the thing. Roman, as dominant as he's being booked, they got to build up more credible opponents. Kevin Owens did a great job for a few months, but looks like Cesaro is the next opponent they're going to feed to him. So it looks like Seth is that stepping stone to get to that point. So,
yeah.
All right, that's cool. And then, a couple things real quick. Otis, Rey Mysterio match. I enjoyed it because Otis finally looked like a dominant big man.
Big guy, little guy match.
I mean, those, like we talked about. Remember, Otis was reported going back to the Performance Center to work on big man stuff with Keith Lee and Omos and some of the other guys. Like, it showed here, even though he's only 5'10", but, weight-wise, he just looked like a dominant force against Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
He's a brick house.
And then even the finish was cool because Rey, jumped on him, and Otis landed perfectly on his back, but it landed to that crucifix pin.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Great spot. I love that. So Otis, as much as I miss...
Here's the thing. With a big guy like Otis, when you do a roll-up type of pin, it makes more sense. It's harder for you to turn when you're that big.
Yeah, his own weight was on himself. Yeah. Ray outsmarted him, used it. So that was great.
He's like an upside-down turtle.
There you go.
Taki! Where's Taki? Taki, help me. Oh, that's all right. You and I, they broke up Heavy Machinery with no blow-off match, so our story is always going to be unsolved now, or unresolved, I should say. Forever. So, last but not least, I thought it was cool, the Bianca Belair celebration with Street Profits. I thought Montez Ford gave good props to his wife, Bianca Belair. And it was very cool, Bianca Belair's promo, just how important this moment is for her, and the symbolism, and the future girls out there who are watching want to be future stars. I thought it was just very cool, especially right now with the climate political climate that we're in the world, in the U.S. I think it's just really cool to have her say those powerful words. I think that was really cool. And then we saw Street Profits versus Dirty Dogs, and I thought we were going to see a title change here because, Bianca told Montez, we have gold in our house. You better win some gold.
That was a great tag team match. I loved the trickery at the end, because that is good tag team wrestling, where the referee looked and pointed and noticed the tag and made acknowledgement to it. And was it Dawkins? Or no, it was Montez didn't notice it, and he's waiting to pick up that win, and he gets zigzagged 1, 2, 3. Great.
Yes, great.
Super quick.
Yes, I like how Dolph Ziggler had the blonde wig extension. It looked
was kind of odd.
Was he trying to like Bianca Belair, like an extension,
kind of
mocking? What I was thinking.
Mocking his hairs. No, but I love this finish as well. As far as it just heelish outsmarting them.
Yeah.
I can't believe the Dirty Dogs have been champions for 3 months now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Been a long time. And then, we saw Sasha Banks backstage. She was so upset she couldn't get a word in. She still had the scar on her stomach.
Yeah.
And then Bayley comes running in and, says, I had to save WrestleMania as a host, but she called out Bianca. So it looks like she's going to be Bianca Belair's next opponent. So
most likely.
Fine with that.
Yeah, Bayley and her. Yeah, be great. That's a great for Bianca Belair. That's a great opportunity. Beat Sasha Banks and you take on the other longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. So, good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. So, like I said, no major call-ups on this SmackDown.
Not yet.
So maybe
to be determined.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. So, all right, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Richard, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me at The Rock on Instagram, and please send your hate tweets to @BabyHuey83 on Twitter and Instagram, using the hashtag Baby Huey sucks.
Wow. Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Another burial.
I almost should give a prize if someone actually does that, because that means you listen to this part and follow through with it.
Hey, if you listen to this show, let us know that you're listening. Send a hate tweet to @BabyHuey with the hashtag HateBabyHuey83.
You're not going to get a prize.
Yeah.
What about you, Tommy?
I'm going to make Twitter accounts now.
Burner accounts. There you go.
Accounts.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Twitter and IG, Instagram at IronFist1982.
It's going to be... I was going to say, it's Ditcher DOS. That's going to be the alias on these other burner accounts.
If you get a angry tweet from Skater Girl 16, it's not me.
Hey. Wow.
See what kind of default profile photo you're going to use.
It might be a profile photo of Avril Lavigne. So.
Yeah.
Nickelback as well. So anyway, all right, I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83, at In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. Click the link in our bio for merch. InTheKliq@gmail.com. As always, thank you for the support. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.